Hey guys, Kurt here, and today, how to manifest union. Oh boy, I bet that got your attention. Yeah, I'm going to tell you exactly how to manifest union with your other self, aka twin flame, right? Your twin flame, your other self, because you guys are the same soul, right? You guys are the same soul. So they are you in another body. It's your other self, your twin flame. And that's kind of part of the lesson right there. I'm just going to get right into it, guys. To manifest union with your twin flame is your natural state. It is not your normal state. It is your natural state. There's a difference. Normal is like living through the ego, or what Eckhart Tolle calls the pain body. You're in thought all the time. Your natural state is to be free of the conditioning and the patterns of the ego, personality, pain body, the mind, right? I'm using those words interchangeably. Those four words do mean different things. Well, ego, personality is kind of one thing. Pain body is something else, and mind is something else. But I use those words interchangeably. Well, anyway, it's very easy to understand the difference between natural and normal. And if you understand the difference between natural and normal in the sense of spiritualism, right, then you can understand how to get your twin flame to come be with you, union, right, what people call union. So let's just go back to the basics first. You are a three-part triune being: physical body, mind, soul. So let's have a conversation about those three components. Okay, so the physical body, we're pretty clear what that is. I don't think anything really needs to be said. We kind of get that. Okay, so mind is thought. And you're going, duh, I knew that. Now, okay, that's right. Okay, I'm glad that you get that. But watch this. Soul is consciousness, and consciousness is not thought. Any thought that you can have, and they're tricky. I get this all the time with my students, right? On my coaching calls, I have my group coaching calls where I can coach you on how to get out of the dark night of the soul, get your twin flame to chase you, all these kinds of things. There's a link in the description box below to my website if you're interested in my very affordable coaching packages. I coach them all the time about this, my students, because the mind is very, very sneaky. It's very, very tricky. It's always trying to trick you and tell you that there's all these things that you need to do and figure out, right? And all that stuff is thought. All of it. Yeah, but Kurt, here's the thing. And they got all these questions all the time. Questions are thoughts. And I'm not saying that the mind is bad, because to say that the mind is bad is a thought. Right? That's all thought. And that's a big one, actually. Like, yeah, well, are you saying, because we got to make thought stop then, right? You're saying that the mind is bad and that it's bad to think, and we need to stop thinking from going on, right, Kurt? No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's thought. It's more like you look away from thought. And here's the trick. The question is, what is you? You are looking away from thought. What is you? Consciousness. The correct dictionary definition for the word consciousness should be something other than thought. And if you look at the dictionary today, they're going to try to peddle the notion that consciousness is a product of the mind. It is not. Because here's the thing. There's thoughts and feelings going on within your body. There's thoughts and feelings going on. They come from the same place, thoughts and feelings. They come from the mind. And then there is an awareness, consciousness, awareness, that there are thoughts and feelings going on in your body, and you can actually notice that they are going on. Well, what is it exactly that is noticing? Did you ever think about that? No pun intended. Did you ever think about that? That there is an awareness that notices thoughts. and that the awareness is separate from the thoughts. The awareness is your natural state. The awareness is your natural state. Being the thinker is the normal state, isn't it? And Eckhart Tolle, he's the one that I'm always recommending to you guys. But there's also Michael Singer, is very popular with my students. Apparently their two messages are very similar. And I've watched a few of Michael's videos, and they are very similar. They're almost identical. But the message of Eckhart and Michael Singer, the reason that they're identical is because it's just traditional spiritualism. It's true spiritualism. And so, you know, you got Alan Watts, you've got Abraham Hicks, there's Neil Donald Walsh, Charlotte Jocko Beck. There's hundreds, thousands of teachers that all have the same basic message. You are not your mind. You are not your mind. That's why what I teach works. This is not a gimmick. It's not a technique. You are not your mind. You are not your mind. You are the consciousness. That's why what I teach works. That's why my students are so successful. That's why people watch the free content on my YouTube channel and have breakthroughs. There's people that never give me a dime and have breakthroughs. All they do is watch the free content on my channel. You can go to the main page of this channel and go to the playlists menu, and there's a playlist called How to Get Your Twin Flame. And all of these videos where I talk about twin flames are in that playlist. If you want to go check it out, you can also hit me up for some coaching. Well, anyway, guys, consciousness is your natural state, and it is not thought. It is awareness. It is awareness. Okay? So the best definition is something other than thought, consciousness. And then you might go, okay, well, I know that consciousness is something other than thought, but what is it then? And that's the thing, is you can't say what it is, because as soon as you say what it is, that's a thought. In fact, as soon as you say that there is an it for you to be talking about, that's thought. You can't even ask the question, what is consciousness? Because you're already doing it wrong. That's a thought. So, in the empirical scientific way, in the empirical scientific sense, the only way that it is possible for you to make a correct dictionary definition for the word consciousness, you would have to say something other than thought. So I want to be really, really clear about that. I'm really hitting that hard on purpose. I want you to be really, really clear about that. That this component of the three-part triune being is not thought at all in any way, shape, or form. You can't even talk about it without placing it there. In fact, in Buddhism, they say, yeah, don't talk about it. Don't talk about the consciousness. Don't talk about the soul. Don't talk about the self, right? All different words to describe the same thing. The soul, the self, consciousness, awareness, the witness, the watcher, the seer, the observer, the looker, right? Consciousness, the self, the soul. In Buddhism, they say, don't talk about it because of what I just explained to you. In Hinduism, they say, yeah, go ahead and talk about it, but you got to talk about it the way that I'm talking about it, which is to say, okay, talk about it, but by the end of the conversation, it's going to be necessary for you to acknowledge that it's kind of an oxymoron to talk about it, because there's no it. There's no it. It's not thought. And it's your natural state. And it's what you are. When you do the thing that we call die, your physical body ceases to function and your mind ceases to exist. All that's left is you, the real you, which is that awareness. Your natural state is not living through the ego personality patterns of the mind. Your natural state is being. Your normal state is to live through the ego personality patterns of the mind. So so there's two places that you could be, right? And you is the awareness. You is the awareness, right? That's what you is. The soul, which is your twin flame, by the way. Right? We are talking about twin flames in this video. how to manifest union. You have to align with your soul, which is the true self, the soul. You got to get out of the mind. So you, which is the awareness, here's how I like to explain it to people. So over here is the ego personality patterns of the mind, going on and on and on, thoughts going on and on and on all the time. And you don't really make them stop. Okay, thinking is like digestion. It's like your heartbeat. It's just always going on. You can't really make it stop. And if you try to make it stop, that's a thought. The thoughts are bad. They need to stop. How do I make them stop? You're adding resistance, which makes the thoughts even more powerful. So don't try to make the thoughts stop. Okay? So your awareness could be in thought, or where else could your awareness be? If your awareness is not focused on the thoughts, and remember, you are the awareness, the consciousness, the soul, which is your twin flame. Where else could your awareness, which is you, where else could it be focused? Well, I guess on reality. I guess if my awareness isn't focused on thinking all the time, on thought, I guess I would be focused on the present moment, just, you know, where I am, the room that I'm in here, and what I'm doing or what I'm feeling or hearing, whatever, right? I would be present. I would be placing myself into that meditative state of Zen. And the longer you do that, you energetically shift into consciousness, a higher consciousness, which is your soul. That is aligning with your soul, which is your twin flame. So you can be here in thought, your awareness, you are the awareness, or you can turn away from it and see where you are. You can move your attention to the present. You don't make thoughts stop. You can't actually make it stop. It's more like you look away from it. Now, if you do that long enough, if you stay present long enough, eventually the thoughts do start to kind of die down. And you also become more aware of the thoughts that you have because you are increasing your consciousness. Okay, which is your natural state. That is your natural state, is consciousness, because you are consciousness. That's what you are. When you do the thing that we call die, the body and the mind go away. It is your nature. You are consciousness. The thoughts are made up. It's all an illusion. And that's just what people normally do, is engage with thinking. But that's not natural. Okay? Union with your twin flame, which is your soul, is your natural state. It's not your natural state to be all caught up in the ego personality patterns of the mind. And I have a theory about perhaps the universe we live in, right? I got my NASA shirt. And my theory is this: it's that most of the universe is actually teeming with highly evolved civilizations, and that we humans here on Earth are very primitive, actually, and that we are the exception. And that's just a theory. I have my reasons for why I think it's like that. I don't know if it's true. I'll give you an idea, though. Like, I would think if there's technologically advanced yet hostile alien civilizations out there, that they would have found us and attacked us by now, okay? That's just, so that's one reason. That's one of many reasons why I think it is like that. But here's the thing. I don't believe in other highly evolved civilizations that the people living on those worlds even have an ego personality. They have a mind, but the mind is like, think of a computer. The mind is like the BIOS. Okay? The mind is the BIOS. And any of you who are computer geeks, you know what I'm talking about. The BIOS is like the hardwired software that is hardwired into the computer chip. It's not even the operating system. It's not even the Windows or the Apple OS. It's the hardwired operating system, right? So that's your mind. Windows would be, so when you load Windows onto the computer, I guess that would be synonymous with, you know, like the second that your mom gives you a name on your birth certificate, you have a personality, right? You have an ego, you have an identity, right? And then whatever else you put on it, whatever software you load onto the computer, that would be, you know, moving out layers and layers of your personality ego. But I don't believe that on other worlds out there in the cosmos that people really have an ego personality much at all, if anything. I don't even know if people would have names, to be honest with you. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. It's just a theory. But it just seems to me like even having an ego, a mind is one thing. You have a mind. Like I said, that's the bare bones, hardwired infrastructure part of the three-part triune being. It's like the BIOS of the computer. BIOS, if you don't know what that is. So that's your mind. It's just, it's functional. It's a mind. It's a problem solver. It's a machine, right? But the ego personality is like this fourth alien element that like latches onto the mind, the ego personality, and it's like layers of energy that builds up over time. I think that's artificial. My belief is that that is a human experience that we have on Earth and that it is not naturally occurring. And that's why you wouldn't necessarily see that in highly evolved civilizations out there in the cosmos. So there you go, guys. Union is your natural state. And no, you do not have to completely get rid of your ego personality to attract your twin flame and have them stay. You can actually train yourself to energetically not interact with your twin flame. There's no metaphysical or energetic interaction with your twin flame. It's just being. And actually what ends up happening when you are in union with your twin flame is you're in that Zen state. It's what they call Satori. You might go Google Satori, S-A-T-O-R-I. That would be the experience that you are having whenever your twin flame is around, when you are in union with them. You feel a deep sense of being and nirvana, which only makes sense because you guys are the same soul. So that is the way that it's going to feel when you are with them in perfect union, which is your natural state. Satori is your natural state, not your normal state. Your normal state is ego separation consciousness. So there you go, guys. Thank you for watching today. Have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you next time.